Welcome, 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 guys, to A Perfect Perception, the podcast where it is okay, honey, to be selfish. It's okay. In this episode, we're going to talk about selfishness as sacred and how we can finally own what that means, right? So, we're going to stop explaining ourselves. We're not going to be defending our being selfish anymore, out of the question. No more of that. I gotta move this phone out of the way. We're just gonna own our selfishness. I think it's right. I think right now is like time that we did that, right? Like it's time that we actually owned being selfish, right? Because we earned it. So we actually realized that, well, most of us realized that somewhere along the way, we got good at just showing up for everybody because that's what we were supposed to do. Show up for everybody, do what we were supposed to do as parents, as spouses, whatever. We did what we were supposed to do. And we did it without question. We didn't ask anything. We didn't second guess or any of that. But now, our kids are grown. Our family is, well, I want to say gone, but our kids are grown and out the house and they don't really need us like they used to. So, what is it? It's our turn. It's our turn. We can choose to show up for ourselves with that same commitment that we have for those kids and that spouse. Or, well, not only that, not only with the same commitment, but with the same strength that we had for them. It's important, right? It's important that we have that same strength for ourselves as we had for those kids and for our family and, for everybody else but us at the time. So we need to be intentional now. Now, though, our intentions are about us. Yeah. So we're not going to do this though because we're running from anything. No, no, we enjoyed our children. We enjoyed raising them for the most part. I mean, of course, we always had the smoke, the ups and downs, because they were learning how to be young men, young women, or whatever, not a whatever, there's only a man and woman, but young men, young women, to grow into who they were going to be. So they had to go through some things and in turn take us through some things. But it doesn't mean we didn't still enjoy them or learn things from the situations that we had to deal with. I mean, it's just what it is. It was our job. And we did it, we handled it, and we did that thing like soldiers. But our tour is over. So we didn't do it because what, we're lost. No, 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 no. We're not necessarily lost, but we are kind of used to putting ourselves on the back burner. That's it. That's how it's been. Mm. And it's a bit difficult realizing that we are now front burner people, the one who needs to be taken care of now, the numero uno of our household now. Yeah. So because we know exactly what we need, we we're not afraid to say it anymore for the most part, or we're at least working our way out of being afraid to say that now it's all about us. We can actually slide with comfort into taking care of ourselves. Say it again, loud for the people in the back. We can easily slide into now taking care of ourselves. Get it in your head that being selfish is not a flaw. It's nothing negative. It's definitely not a crisis. Don't call nobody. And it's not a luxury. It's a rite of passage, even. Being selfish at this stage in our lives is clarity, it's ownership, and Lord knows it's sacred. It's sacred. So, what does renewal look like? Because when we go through this change in our lives, then it's kind of us renewing things within ourselves, within our mindset, how we think about things, and then within how we do things, how we move. So, what does renewal look like? It's not dramatic. Please don't be one of those. You don't have to be dramatic. Sometimes, though, it is um, a quiet form of transformation. Like when you used to sit in your car for a few extra minutes before going inside the house, to face the rat race when your kids were home, because you knew it was going to be something. Usually it was. And if you had boys, it was what it was. I don't know much about girls, but from my sister, I am guessing it was about the same. So, you didn't sit in the car because you were hiding or anything. No, mm, not even then. Were you hiding when you were sitting in the car? It's not like that. It was more like you were preparing yourself. You needed to know that you were ready to handle whatever was about to come to you because you knew it was going to be something. Just was what it was. Now you do it because you're not in a rush. There's no need to be rushing in the house anymore. Sometimes renewing ourselves, being renewed, it's a bold move. It could be something like planning that luxury trip you've been thinking about, you've been wanting to take, but been too chicken to do it. And when you decide that you're going to jump off that cliff and go ahead and plan it, you do it without asking for permission, without asking if it works in somebody else's schedule. Well, except your spouse. But 9 times out of 10, if you're booking it, you already know that it's okay with your spouse. Sometimes renewal is subtle. Subtle. It could be as simple as letting the phone ring. You don't want to answer today. And guess what? You don't have to. Or it can be something as simple as deleting an email that has the subject line just checking in. We'll pass on that. No need. No need. I've already checked in with myself and I'm doing quite well. Thank you and good night. So renewal is the newest takeover of you that looks like choosing what you want to eat. Um, Not what's easiest for everyone else, what you want to do, regardless of anybody else's opinion. Regardless of anybody else's opinion. It looks like blocking off your calendar because you did take that leap and book that luxury 14-day cruise or trip to Marrakesh. And um, you decided that you didn't want to have to explain to anybody. So you chose to not explain to anybody at all. It can also sound like, nope, sorry, not available today. I'm a little busy. Get somebody else. It can sound like that. And guess what? You do not have to feel the need to feel the silence because somebody gets quiet on you on the other side of that phone line because they don't like what you just said. Tough cookies. Sorry. Time to depend on someone else. I am unavailable. I am only available for me right now. Now, don't get me wrong, because we'll be available for people when we feel the need to be available for them, but not every time you call and not all the time. Sometimes it's as simple as writing down your own name at the top of your list. We always have a list of people that are important, whether it's physically written or not. There is still a list, and the list actually usually doesn't include us, right? Not anymore though. We're not gonna put ourselves at the bottom of the list. We're not squeezing ourselves in somewhere along the way, but we are putting ourselves first now. That first name on that list, that first name is us. And it's a game changer, honey. That's what we're doing now. That's how we're handling things now. We're not balancing, fitting in with others and leaving ourselves behind anymore. The only person we need to fit in with is ourselves and our spouses, if we have a spouse. We're not negotiating for peace. Those days are gone, over, done. We're living in a different truth now. And this truth is all about us. We know it feels like, we know, well, yeah, we know what it feels like for people to need us, right? We know what that feels like, but now what we are teaching ourselves is what it feels like to be whole, completely happy and satisfied with ourselves. So, and I say that because I learned that kind of the hard way. So I'm going to tell you a story. Let me tell you what this looked like for me just a few years ago. Not very many. Um, I know the real shift, right? It may be like a punch in the gut, even. Um, for me, it was anyway. It was after my kids had grown up, they were out of the house, and that empty nester syndrome really kicked in for us. It really did. So now you know what an empty nester is. Well, no, do you know what empty nesting syndrome is? It is actually defined as a sadness, or even emotional distress from when our children leave home. When our kids leave home, we are actually emotionally distressed about it. And it's true. Like, I never thought that that would be me. So when we became empty nesters, we honestly didn't know what to do with ourselves. I guess I can't speak for my husband, but I can say for me, I really didn't know what to do with myself because I'm so used to having a schedule, things that I had to do, things that I needed to make happen. Why? Because I had children, and that was what we did. It's what we did. So since I didn't know what to do with myself, I had to spend, well, no, I didn't know what to do with myself because of the fact that I had spent so many years making sure my boys and my husband were good, and um, having to say that, um, well, yeah, I would have to say that I was proud of that. I was proud of that. I didn't have any real complaints. You know, like anybody, we all have our ins and outs and our um goods and bads and do's and don'ts and things that happen as we were raising our children. But for the most part, we really mostly enjoyed that. I don't know a parent that did not enjoy raising his or her children. But I'm still actually proud of the job that we did. We raised some pretty awesome boys they're thoughtful, they're loving, though at this point they have families of their own. They do. They don't have any children yet. Neither one of my boys have any children yet, which is another pretty good thing. I mean, it's a really good sign of how they were raised, and they are right now, the last time I looked it up, there are 45% of men, period, that do not have any biological, not 49, no, 40.5. Sorry, y'all, 40.5% of men who have no biological children. Neither one of my sons have any biological children, so I don't have any grandchildren, right? Okay. So it also says that they weren't out, and though I'm sure they were doing their share of mischievous things, right? It shows how responsible they were in doing those mischievous things. And because of that, they have hit 34 and 31 respectively, with no outside children, like no children just all over the place. We live in St. Louis. That would be an easy thing to do. I'm sure it's easy anywhere, but honey, I guess usually when you live somewhere, you see things uh, a little bit more strongly than you see other places. Why? Because you don't live there. So you can only go by where you live. So when our house got quiet, I realized I had no idea in the world what I wanted anymore, what I even needed to do with myself. I was so used to doing what I did that the change seemed so abrupt and absolutely disrespectful, y'all. It seemed so disrespectful in a way. Not that it should have. Like, I should have been super happy. I'm an empty nester, no kids, gone. No grandkids. I don't have no crazy baby mamas knocking on my door, nobody calling my phone, hanging up and acting crazy, nobody doing anything ridiculous that would be something that I would have to deal with. None of that. None of that ever. So in that aspect, I should have been completely happy. But not like that was enough, but just as we had started getting the swing of things, started trying to actually get into the empty nester thing, guess what happened? That's when my husband decided to have a heart attack. I mentioned that in episode 1. That's when he decided to have a heart attack. And I know it's not that he really decided to have a heart attack, but having a heart attack is what happened. And he didn't just have a regular heart attack, he actually died for a few minutes underneath a truck, laying there. Thank God a friend of ours was passing by and decided to stop to see if he needed some help. And he ended up saving my husband's life. So, uh-oh. So, bells going off, y'all. Bells are going off. Okay. He scared me straight though. When he when he had that heart attack, he actually died and he was in that hospital. And I looked at my husband helpless. My husband is a very strong man and very hands-on, likes to do things. He is so hands-on that when he was in the hospital, you know how they have them hooked up to all those little machines. Well, he used to always have and still does have an alarm that will wake him up for work. So the bell started going off on his machine. He's still knocked out, y'all. He lifts up out the bed, the eyes still closed. My son and I are trying to tell them he thinks it's time to go to work. He has an alarm that sounds like this. And so he's hearing it in his head, and for him, it's time to go to work. So he kept doing that until they could stop that machine from actually, doing the beep beep thing, which the doctor was like, wow. It's like, yeah, he's not lazy. So at that exact moment though, that's when I stopped after he got out the hospital. I knew that he was going to be okay, and he had even gone back to work. The man is crazy. He went back to work in 3 weeks. Anybody else, they said, would have taken way longer. But again, he's not lazy. So sitting around the house for him it's just not feasible. So after that, I decided, with him, of course, that we were not going to put off anything anymore. No more of that. We're not putting off anything. We're not going to deny ourselves anything. Whatever happens, happens. And so we've kind of been sticking to that. And so that was the exact moment that I stopped saying everything was going to be put off till tomorrow or till next week, or we weren't going to do it till next year. No more of that. No more of the one day we're going to do this. One day we're going to take that luxury cruise. One day we're going to go to that luxury resort. One day we're going to fly first class. One day we're going to do this, that, take the private plane, whatever. I have started planning to do any and everything that we think we want to do. It's just about planning. So that's what I do. I plan now. I don't put off. So nope, those days are gone. They're gone. But there's also when we started choosing us. So putting all of that stuff in the forefront of our lives and deciding that these are things that we are going to do meant we started putting us first. Okay, because not only did I almost lose him to a heart attack, we completely lost our house, burned down completely. Nothing we could do. We are right now going through the motions of getting that back, but we are not stopping living while we do those things. We're not stopping living while I build this podcast. We are not stopping living while we have the life to live, because today or tomorrow it's not promised. And we learned that in a very, I don't want to say a hard way, but we learned that in a very, not hard, that's not the word I'm looking for. We but we learned it, and we learned it in a way that kind of punched us in the throat. Okay. So taking those luxury cruises and not waiting for an invitation to live and live well, that kicked in for us. So we just made the decision that from now on, we come first. Not in a selfishly dismissive way, because there are things that are going to be very important that we have to put first, and we can do that. But there were some things that we changed, like we started caring a little bit more for our health. For me, I've lost 49 pounds, well, about 48, 49 pounds so far, because I had just allowed my weight to get out of control. And my body type uh, didn't hold my weight well. So then I started getting some different medical issues. Why? Because I had allowed myself to get too far, get way too far out of the norm. And because of it, it started affecting me as well. And it just is what it is. I'm telling you, y'all. So after I started caring for myself, um, and I've been feeling much, much better than I had been. He's been feeling much, much better. We don't do the same things that we did. Um, but we did decide that we needed to get back to not, not only loving ourselves separately, and not to say, because I don't want this taken the wrong way, not to say that we didn't love each other, but to getting back to where the focus was just on he and I, and it was us focusing on just loving each other. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. There is nothing in my past life. I can go anywhere and leave him in a room with anybody. And when I say anybody, anybody. And I don't have to worry about what they might say. And I mean anybody. I don't have to worry about what they might say. I don't have to be there to govern it. I ain't got to be there to defend myself. I don't have any of that. Why? Because he's my best friend. So all my little flaws and all my little indiscretions of my younger years and all the stupidity that I went through and all the stupidity that I was, he knows all of it. All of it. Nothing left out. And it has been a game changer for us in our relationship, because the same thing he did with me. And we've both been in situations that something, had it not already been discussed, could have been something that could have been um, a hook in our relationship, something that scratched, you know, our bond, or something that took a kink out of our bond. But we made sure up front that we didn't do that, and we make sure that we try to stay strong together, strong together. Threefold cord. That threefold cord is real, y'all. When the Bible talks about that, that's real. So if we got that, and we're not being deceitful, we'll always have strength, no matter what somebody else tries to do, especially when it comes to them trying to destroy our marriage. Nope. But I digressed. So we started moving differently. I started seeing myself differently. I started seeing my husband differently, our lives differently. Baby, when I say game changer, game changer. So little by little, step by step, I have realized that this version of me, the one that moves with intention now, that decides with clarity now, with softness when I need it, and power when I don't. She's been here. She was here all along. She wasn't hiding from me. It was me who wasn't looking for her well enough. It was me who actually buried her, which was bad all the way around. That was wrong on my part. I buried my most supportive system, myself. I buried myself. Nobody asked me to. It was done. I had put her on hold, but no more. No more. I now have her sitting front and center. I think about her when I'm making my decisions. I think about her when I want to take that trip. I think about her when I want to do something that betters our family, my husband and I, that is. I think about her in most everything that I do now. I no longer leave her out. I no longer put her on the back burner. She's front and center now. She's front and center. So if any of this conversation at all resonates with you, if it has you reevaluating yourself, your life, the decisions that you've made, the way that you move, how you get down now, even though your kids are gone or headed out the door, if you've been feeling the change coming, that quiet pull towards a little bit, little bit of selfishness, that inner nudge that says, hey, I think it's time to put me first. I think it's time to put me at the top of my list now. Top. I want you to take this moment and honor that. Lay back in it. Think about it. Meditate on it. Meditate on it. It's important. Okay? Love on you and feel good about it when you do it. You don't have to make any drastic moves. There's no need to make any grand announcements to anybody because it's not about them anymore. It's about you. It's not about anybody outside of you. It's just about you. So listen to your heart. Now, I know what the Bible says. I know what it says in Jeremiah 17:9 that the heart is treacherous. But we're not allowing the heart to mislead us. Not right now. We are simply reclaiming our mental health. We are reclaiming our heart. We are redirecting it to our own health and wellness with a lot of God and a little bit of rediscovery. That's all we're doing. We have changed the game for ourselves and our lives even. Reclamation, reclamation. Reclamation starts when we stop ignoring the little things, the things that we crave, the quiet that we have relished for, that we've wanted, that we've looked for years, the clarity that shows up instead of that noise that we had going on, had us sitting in the car, making sure that we were ready for what was coming when we walked in that house. That's why I created something for us. Something for us. Guys, it's a workbook. No, it's not a workbook. It's a challenge. No, it's not a challenge. But it is a journal. I have one for men and one for women. It's simple. It's uncluttered. Just, it's just space for you to speak to you, about you, and gaining clarity for you. The best part is you get to answer any questions or everything in the journal with honesty because it's just for you. Maybe for the first time in a long while, you just get to be honest with yourself. You get to be you completely and totally for the first time in a long time. For the first time in a long time. You can download the journal using the link in the description. And don't forget, honey, it's completely free. It's completely free. It is about us. It is about our clarity. It is about us reclaiming our lives. It's about us finally being selfish, but in a good way. But in a good way. And since we're here, let's talk about what sacred. Because we said earlier at the beginning of this that selfish is sacred, right? Let's talk a little bit about what that sacredness looks like. What does sacred look like? Sacred looks like waking up slow and intentional. No alarms, no rush. Sacred looks like choosing silence instead of explaining who we are, what we are, why the change, where it came from, what we want to do, all of that nonsense. We don't owe any explanations anymore. Sacred looks like joy that doesn't need to be posted or approved. Nope, we're past that. Sacred looks like flying first class, even private at times, because comfort is clarity. And when we can make something happen for us now, we are in the mode of making it happen for us. We have repositioned our feelings, we've repositioned our emotions, we've repositioned our actions to now be all about us. Sacred looks like being unavailable and not offering a reason. No, I don't want to do it today. No, I'm not available today. No, I cannot do that for you today. It's what it is, right? Sacred looks like rest, relaxation. Rest that doesn't have to apologize because we are really, really, really trying to get away from doing everything for everybody else, making ourselves be the back burner people. Ixnay for that. Time out for that. So selfish at this point, selfish looks like you, the you that you are now developing, the you not developing, not developing, the you that you have now rediscovered or are on the road to rediscovering. She's there. He's there. All you got to do is bring them on out. Bring them out. Bring them out. So sacred looks like you. It's a renewed you. It's a clear you. It's a present you. That kind of sacred, honey, changes the game. That kind of sacred changes the game. the but yeah, it changes the game. Um, the sacred that I am talking about is that version of you that's showing up now, not because something's wrong. No, no, not at all. Nothing's wrong, but because you finally made space for what's right. Remember, selfish is sacred, and we're finally owning that. Being selfish, knowing that it's sacred. We're owning it. So here's your reminder for the week. You don't need a second opinion from anybody to say yes to yourself. You don't need second opinions at all. Second opinions are for doctors and only when necessary, right? You don't need permission to pause and give yourself time to breathe, to change your mind, or to take up whatever space you want in your life, in your realm. You've earned joy. You've earned first class treatment. You've earned the right to be selfish because selfish, say it again with me loud for the people in the back. It's sacred. Selfish is sacred, y'all. I am not kidding. And around here, in this arena, this community, we don't whisper about it. We walk in it. We scream it loud and we scream it proud, honey. Selfish is sacred. Selfish is sacred. Thank you for being the best part of a perfect perception. The podcast where it's okay to be selfish. Because what? What do we talk about in this episode? Selfish is sacred. I'll see you guys next Thursday at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.